In today's video, we're going to talk about how to believe in yourself first. If you believe in yourself first, you're going to be able to get yourself to the next level. If it's with your personal life, if it's with business, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you need to believe in yourself first. So now, if you need to believe in yourself first, how are our beliefs created? Like, where do we get our beliefs from? Well, first off, we get a lot of our beliefs from our parents. So where did our parents get their beliefs from? They got them from their parents. And where did their parents get them? From their parents. So beliefs are passed down. But they're also built on as we become more aware of our own self. When we're not a child anymore, there's certain things that stack on for our beliefs, on what we're able to do in our life. Why do some people seem to move forward? Some people stay the same. Some people stay, even move backwards. And it all has to do with the inner beliefs. And these are some of the things that people don't want to talk about, because if they talked about them, they would think that, people might either think down on them, or if people who are very successful, they don't even really talk about them because they don't want people to think that they're like better than them. So it goes both ways. There's extremes both ways. But let me tell you something. You don't got to tell anybody your beliefs. You don't have to tell anybody your beliefs because you're already telling them. So you think that you're hiding your beliefs when your beliefs are actually showing themselves by the way that your life is materializing. So let's walk through it real quick, and I'm going to give you some examples. So if we look at it, there's spiritual beliefs, what you believe. Some people are very religious. Some people are universal, where they just think on a universal way, like this is the secret, with Bob Proctor, where they talked about the secret and how the universe works, and the universe brings things to you, and you can think positive and all of that stuff. Or you could be very religious, and it's really built on the same type of thing. It's just that there's God and, the prophets that are involved with religion. So it's still the same thing. So think about it this way. Where did you get that from? See, that's the thing that seems to get skipped over, is that if you have spiritual beliefs, what are those spiritual beliefs? Because some of those spiritual beliefs could be holding you back. Some of them could be propelling you forward. The main benefit that I want you to get from this video is to understand, what are your spiritual beliefs? You need to write that down on a piece of paper. What are those beliefs? And do those beliefs align to where you're trying to get yourself to be in life? Because there's certain spiritual beliefs, especially if you're religious, where some people just believe that rich people can't go to heaven. And that can actually be something internal that can hold you back from becoming successful. Like, you're trying to make more money, you're trying to be more successful, but that spiritual belief that you've heard ever since you were a child, that rich people don't go to heaven, or money is the root to all evil, that can kind of hold you back from moving forward. And then let's just go from a universal belief. Maybe you're thinking that you're greedy, like greedy people are not good. Things that you've seen in your past or what your parents passed down to you. It's like this universal feeling. If you look at some of the movies and a lot of stuff that's out there, it can make you think that people who are rich are, universally bad. In a lot of movies, it show rich people doing bad things when that is not true. So where is that belief pattern established so you can make those changes to your spiritual beliefs? Identity. Who do you identify yourself as? This is a very good question. This here was probably one of the most important things that I did in my life. At the age of 14, when I was in school, I had an event that happened. I think maybe I was 15 years old. There was an event that happened where I was trying out for the basketball team. And the coach came in, and the coach, I played my freshman year, And then coach for my sophomore year, at the end of the season, the coach had me and a couple other guys, and he said, don't try out next year. Like, he just straight up told us, don't try it next year. Like, I'm saving you time. Don't try out next year. And then he said, Williams, the football coach wants to see you to go try out for football, So I guess they thought that I could be of benefit to the football team. But at that point, even though I did go and do spring training for football and did pretty good, I had decided over the summer that I was not going to be a sports player. And I started to have my identity beliefs change, because all the way up to that period of time, I identified from what family members had told me, from what I had actually seen a family member who had played professional football. My identity was kind of built on, if you're going to be successful, this is the type of stuff that you need to be involved in. Even though I had family members that had did business, I just did not identify with them. And so what I did over that summer, and I did it with hypnosis, I did it with getting around people that I wanted to be around, because I wanted to change my identity of who I thought I was. Well, really, it's not changing. It's just getting to know yourself. When you know yourself, then you can start to do the things that you want to change yourself to be. And there's nothing wrong with changing your identity. There's nothing, and I'm not talking about changing like getting a fake identity. What I'm talking about is identifying who you want to be, what you want to be in your life, how you want your life to materialize. That's what we all do. But what most of us end up doing is just fulfilling the identity that was put into us by family, friends, and other people that we came around, instead of truly saying, who do I identify with as myself, and what do I want to be? So where did you get those from? Write it down. And then values belief. What do you value about yourself? This is a very important question. When you start to put value on yourself, it will actually stop you from doing things that are not good for you, because you value yourself first. A lot of people will do things that are not that are not good for them, because they put value in what's being presented to them, rather than putting the value with yourself and seeing if this is something that fits into what you want to get involved with, or something that you want to do, whatever it is. It could just be with relationships. You got to have value beliefs about yourself. And then behavior beliefs. What are the things that you're doing? Are the things that you're doing getting you to where you want to be? Why are you doing those things? The behaviors that you believe, are they benefiting you, or are they taking you away from where you want to be? These are things that you may not even be aware of, and you're like, why can't I get to where I want to be? It's because your behavior beliefs are what you believe is right for you, and those beliefs need to be worked on to be able to allow you to move forward. And they could be your beliefs for any number of reasons. They could be your beliefs for any number of reasons. The next one is capabilities belief. Now, some of the times you might think you want to move forward with like in business, or move forward with a new job, or move forward with something that you want to accomplish. But then all of a sudden you start these doubts come to your mind. Sometimes they come early to people where they don't even do it. Like, they're just like, I'm just not capable of even accomplishing that. Or it might come about as they're doing it. So this is why a lot of people will, maybe want to lose weight, or start a business, get involved in opportunity. And then all of a sudden, or even in a new relationship, and then all of a sudden it starts to go back down, because you think that you're just not capable of doing whatever needs to be done. And there's a root cause reason on why you believe you're not capable of it. And to be able to change those beliefs, you got to know what those beliefs are. So, for example, if you're trying to start a business and you just look at that business and say, I just can't do it. Why not just look at that business and then look at everything that needs to be done to do it? And you will start to see the breakdown of what you believe in and what you don't believe in, or what your beliefs are, what your capability beliefs are. And you can start to work on those, because those capability beliefs are just mainly just because you just never took the time to learn how to do it. So just think about that. You think that you just can't do it. I'm not capable of doing that. When really, only reason why you believe that you're not capable of doing it is because you've never done it before. You've never been instructed on doing it before. But see, your brain, what it does is it sees that new thing and it's trying to protect you from the disappointment. It's trying to protect you from having to do something that you really don't want to do. It knows that you believe you're not capable of doing it. But consciously, you're like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Subconsciously, which is 99% of your decision processes, is saying you're not capable of doing it. And it's not saying it because it says that you're not capable of doing it. It's saying it to you, giving you the feeling, because that's what you've always felt. So it's protecting you. That's the only reason why it's doing it. But you can overcome that by just learning how to do it. And then environmental beliefs, where you're raised, everything with the family that you have, like the environment that you grew up in, the school that you went to, all of that stuff. So sometimes people will say, well, it's because of the environment that they grew up in. That's why they're where they're at. Has nothing to do with it. It has something to do with the path that they have to take, but it has nothing to do with them being able to become successful. If you think about it this way, how many sports athletes have came from poor neighborhoods? How many business people have came from poor neighborhoods or bad environment? It has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is the way that person internalizes. And that's why it's important. And also, just so you know, environmental beliefs is on the bottom. Because that's the lowest amount of, if anyone is not going to succeed, it's not going to be because of their environment. It's going to be because of these here. So now let's look at how this breaks down, though. This is something that you need to be aware of, because you might be saying, well, Steve, okay, well, then I believe that my environment has nothing to do with it. Then that would automatically mean that I can learn and have the capabilities to do something, or I can change my behaviors and do something, or I can change my values and do something, or I can change my identity and do something, or I can change my spiritual beliefs and do something. It actually works the opposite. If you're going, not to say that you can't do it, but if you're looking at it from this direction, it's going to be very difficult. The reason why is because think about if you're universal or if you're religious. Think about how much has been put into you to have those belief patterns. How much? It's been a lot more than, yeah, you did live in that environment, but this is stuff that was spoken to you. This is stuff that was given to you in writing. Read this, listen to this, Sunday school, or even if you're environmental and you grew up with a family where it was just like, we're not religious, but you still have some sort of foundation that is built on the way that you move forward through life on a spiritual level. So even if you're universal, you believe that the universe controls everything. And that there's just something that's above you, that there's something that's more than us. And so with that something that's being more than us, that takes away some of your power that you have from within, because you think that something on the outside controls everything that you might want to do in your life. Same thing with religion. God controls everything. God has seen everything. God knows everything that's going to happen. And then when things happen to you, you start to think, well, this was supposed to happen to me. And why did that happen to me and it didn't happen to them? So both ways makes you think that there's something else that controls everything about your life. Both ways. So I'm not making the scale either way. Both ways have you thinking that way. So that's very powerful. So with your spiritual beliefs, whatever way, religion, or if you have universal beliefs, you got to work on those and see what beliefs are not allowing you to be able to move forward in your life. And everybody is going to have something different to say about it. Some things hold people back. Some things don't hold people back. We do know that there's some religious people that are very successful, and we do know that there's some spiritual people that are very successful, and we do know that there's some that are not successful, that spend their whole life universal or praying to God, and they never move forward in their life. They say, well, I got to wait until I die to get what's coming to me. So we know that there's some things that you internalize spiritually that the people who are successful are not internalizing. It might just be a misrepresentation or a misconception. Next thing is your identity. So we got that one, your identity. So if we work on this and we get this taken care of, it will help you change your identity. It is almost impossible for you not to change your identity to make it better, because everything that you were believing here that was whatever the root cause of what was holding you back in as a spiritual universal or religious or universal thinking thought process, once you identify what that is, it's going to help you improve your identity about the way that you think about yourself. If you were afraid to get rich because you felt that rich people don't go to heaven, and you fix that thought process, whatever way you got to do it, it's going to help you improve your identity beliefs. It's going to help you improve that. It's not going to hurt you, but you have to deal with this one first, and then you'll be able to deal with this one. It goes down. And then your values belief. Because you if you think about it, if you have money's the root to all evil, or rich people are evil on the universal side, if you think that way, how can you have value beliefs to do things to make yourself rich? Because if you have it stacked on with your religious or your universal beliefs, and then you have it stacked on with the way that you believe, what you identify with for yourself, how can you improve your values belief? How can you do that? You can't do it until you deal with those two. And then your behavior beliefs. Your behavior beliefs automatically fix themselves when you fix your values beliefs, because you're going to do the things that it takes to either become successful or to become a better person, to do whatever it takes. Your behaviors will automatically improve because you've dealt with that. And your values beliefs improve because you dealt with your identity, and your identity beliefs improves because you dealt with the spiritual beliefs. So you're going to easily be able to do the things that you need to do with your behaviors. And then your capabilities belief. If your behavior beliefs are pointing you in the right direction, your values belief, you increase your level of what you value yourself. Your identity beliefs increase because now you identify as successful in whatever it is, money, personal life, whatever that is. You identify as successful, and you've dealt with the things that it took to know that just because you want to be successful and identify as a successful person, that doesn't go against your spiritual beliefs. That's going to allow you to be able to do all of these things, and then give you the ability to think that I am capable of learning whatever needs to be learned. Because that bottom line, that's what we're trying to get to, is can you get to the level of where I believe I am capable of learning this. And if you don't have all that other stuff stacked on top of you, pushing you down, saying, well, you can see that opportunity, but you're not capable of doing it. And then all of these other things that are stacked on to you that are stopping you from believing that you're capable. If you deal with those, you're going to be like, hey, this is an open book for me. I'm going to learn to do this. Next thing is environmental. If you do all of those things, what we usually see, this is what happened to me, is that when you do these things here, you actually take yourself out of that bad environment. So let me give you an example of what happened to me when I was 15 years old. I made that decision. I worked on changing these beliefs here. I just worked on them. I didn't even know I was doing this stuff. So I could just consider myself lucky. I did it. I got around the right people. I wanted to be a business owner. I started my journey. I had successes and failures, but I was like pointed in that direction. Anything that I didn't know how to do, rather than saying that I couldn't do it, I learned to do it. I talked to people, made mistakes. I was willing to go through that process. But something that happened when I was 18 years old is that I came to the determination that if I was to stay in that environment where I was at, that was not going to work for me. And what I did is I joined the United States Army, and it took me fully out of that environment. In a way, it was like I reset myself out of the environment. So if you X out of that bad environment, now look at what you're working on. You're working on your capabilities, you're working on your behaviors, you're working on your values, your identity, and your spiritual beliefs. You can't tell me that stuff, that can't work for you. That will work for you. So what I want you to do for your homework is I want you to write down, and I want you to put this in the comments. Put this in the comments. And if you have problems with this, you can type in the comments and leave me a message. And something that I can work with you on doing. And it's very simple. It's not intrusive. And this is what I did at the age of 15. I listened to an audio over and over and over and over and over again that fixed these things here. So if you just feel that, hey, I just need to get something to listen to, it's just like a record. How many records have you listened to, or we call them records, but how many songs have you listened to and you memorized them? All this is songs that you've memorized, and you run that record in your life, and it materializes. You sing the same song all the time, every day, and then that song materializes as your life. All you have to do is you got to change that song on the inside. See, you're the instrument. Our body is the instrument, and our mind is the computer. And what it's doing is just playing. And it doesn't know that the song that you're playing is good or bad. All it is it's saying you're playing that song because you want to be protected against that stuff. So if you want to invest in become a millionaire in business, it's basing it off of this. So it's actually trying to protect you. You don't want to be a millionaire because of this, and this. And then you try to go out and do that, and then all of a sudden the capabilities come involved. And then maybe you get some success, and then all of a sudden your spiritual beliefs and your identity, or maybe you try to do a business and you don't make enough money, then your values about what you're worth as a person comes into play. So all of this stuff needs to be worked on, but there is an easy way to work on it. Number one is to just get all of that stuff out on paper so you can mentally see what you're dealing with, mentally go through those feelings. Some of the times you do not want to tell anybody. And if you don't want to tell anybody, then what you got to do is you do that on a piece of paper, get those feelings and deal with those feelings. The other way that you could do this is you could tell somebody and then you record everything that you want to change. And you listen to it and you change that record. And it's not going to feel good at first because you're going against all of this at first. You're going against all of this at first, but eventually the record's going to change. You're going to be like, well, I wish it was that easy. It is that easy once you get across that line and it happens, because it becomes a new habit. And sometimes it could take a short period of time, usually 21 days of doing something over and over and over and over and over again, listening to it over and over and over and over again can change a habit. But depending on how deep the roots are, it could take a little bit longer, but it can happen. And once it happens, you'll be like, I wish I would have did that a lot sooner. All right. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. Remember to do your homework. And I want to see some questions in the comment section. I'll be in there answering those. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.